If you were looking for something that would just simply make everyone smile, what would it be? Well, for today's guest, that was really learning what everybody's grandmother and grandfather name would be. She had heard so many different names, different variations, all kinds of different names that grandparents are called these days, and she's compiled a list, and there are thousands of them. We're going to take a little bit today to smile. My guest is Joy Crawford. She's a retired teacher, community founder, and on a mission to make 1 million grandparents smile. Stay tuned and smile with me today on this episode of Relax, I Got This, Embracing Life After 60. In today's world, older adults face major transitions like downsizing, relocating, or modifying their homes to age in place, all while embracing life after these changes. As a senior home advisor and seasoned realtor, Robin McCoy guides these decisions with care and thoughtful planning, helping create a vibrant future. Welcome to Relax, I Got This, Embracing Life After 60 with me, your host, Robin McCoy. Joy, thank you so much for being on the show today, and this is going to be a very timely conversation.
I look forward to it. Thank you for having me, Robin.
So we're going to talk about being grandparents today, y'all. That's what we're going to talk about. And Joy came across my desk in a most opportune time. As some of you, if you know me in real life and all of that, our first grandbaby is about to be born at the time of this recording in about a month and a half. So this is going to, it's a first for our family, the first grandbaby. And so it is very timely, and I'm really excited to talk about this because everybody tells me it is going to be my greatest joy. So
it is. I promise you.
So Joy, tell me a little bit about you. You are a retired educator and teacher, and your goal, you say, is to make 1 million grandparents smile. Tell me where all this, tell me what that's about.
I'm a retired kindergarten teacher of 40 years.
Oh my goodness.
And I retired from the Atlanta school system, and then I came down to Florida with my oldest son and his wife and 3 kids. So we've been here about 13 years, I think. When I came down here, I can't remember the exact date and time, but I had been ill, so I was recovering from an illness. So I started going to the beach, to a restaurant by the beach. My son would drop me off, and I would sit in the rocking chair and crochet and just relax and enjoy recovering. And the spirit told me, because I don't know what was going on at that particular time, but I was like, why can't everybody just get along? I guess I must have looked at the news or something, and I usually don't look at the news. So I must have glanced at the news or something, because my head, why can't everybody get along? Why, there must be something that makes everybody smile. And God said in my heart, he said, well, you can find something that makes everybody smile. How about let's start with 1 million? And of course, if you're into the Bible a little bit, you know that Moses said, God, you talking to me? I said, God, you talking to me? So, of course, that was on my head for the next few days. And it just so happened that I went to church. And, sometimes in the churches, the adults go to the nursery once a month to take care of the nursery babies. So that it was my time to go to the nursery this particular Sunday. So, Robin, I went to the nursery. I took care of the little babies during the service. And as the service was over and the little gate where the parents come pick them up, people started coming to the gate. The little kids started going out. Well, let me tell you, this man came to the gate. He was 6 feet tall. He was a big old husky man. He had a beard. When you look at him, you're like, ooh, I don't want to know you, It's like,
you're intimidating.
And he was so serious, yes, ma'am. And the little baby behind me said, boop, 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 boom, pa. boom, 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 pa. And I looked at the baby. Then I looked up at him. That man started grinning like the sunshine. He reached out his arms, and little baby jumped in his arms. He said, "Here, boom, pa, baby, here, boom, pa, baby." I was like in awe looking at him, and he was like, he looked back at me and he said, "I'm boom, pa," and I just smiled. I was saying, I said, "That's what he calls you?" He said, "Yep, I'm boom, pa. Let's go, boy." And they went on. Well, when my son had to pick me up that day because I don't drive. And it was back when Facebook was new to me. It was new to a lot of people, but it was very new to me. And I said to my son, with this Facebook thing, can you make me a Facebook page that says what my grandkids call me, and then I can find all the names that grandkids call their grandparents, and then I could put it on my Facebook page. And he said, "Oh yeah, I could do that, Mom." I said, "Good." And then I looked on the computer, not the computer, yeah, the computer, Google, and said, how many grandparents are in America? It said something like 30 million or something. I was like, I got it. And if that man smiled like that, and I can just make a million people smile, all I got to do is say, what do your grandkids call you? Girl, I had it made. I signed up. I had me a Facebook page, and that was the beginning.
That was the beginning.
That was the beginning, and now this is 15 years later. I have 30,000 grandmas on my Facebook site, and I'm just climbing. I love it. I got over 4,000 names other than grandma, but grandma is still the number one. Okay. Pop Pop for grandparents is the number one for men.
Really?
Not
Pop
grandpa.
Pop.
Pop Pop. Pop Pop. No, not Pop Pop. Papa. P-A-P-A.
Oh, okay.
Papa. Papa. And then Pop Pop is number 2. Grandpa is like number 4. So I can't remember right off my head. I know Papa, Pop Pop. I can't remember number 3, but Grandpa was number 4. But for moms, Grandma was still number 1. Nana was number 4. Mima was number 2. So
I had a Mima.
Yeah, Mima was real popular. So anyway, that's how I got started, and that's why I'm in heaven loving doing this. It's like everybody I ask that is a grandparent, they light up when I ask, what do your grandkids call you? And those that are not grandparents will say, but I remember my grandma, and I called her. And so, I mean, it always brings a smile. No matter who I ask, where, when, or whatever, it always brings a smile. So that's it. That's it.
Well, let me ask you this. So like I said, we've got a grandbaby coming, and our daughter said, well, what do you want to be called? Right? What do you want to be called? So I'm like coming up with different things. I'm going to go look at your list in case I change my mind. So I need to go, because if there's 4,000 names, I only thought of like 3. So I got,
I got a little book called What My Grandkids Call Me, A to Z, on Amazon. So you'll have to check that out.
And my husband says, he goes, that's up to the kid to decide. So what is it? Do we get to pick our name, our grandparent name, or is that the kid's job?
Actually, it depends on your family and you and your relationship there. If like one of my friends, she's a beautician. Her grandkids call her Glamma, Glamma, Glamma. So that was, she had decided that, and when the baby started, blah, 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 she kept saying, Glamma, Glamma. And she started out saying Gamma. But as she got older, she put that L in there. She couldn't get that L at first to say Glamma. Now she's a teenager. She says Glamma. So other people, what happens is when the baby starts talking, and remember, this may not be for several months, but the baby still has heard all these sounds around that you all make. Right. So several babies start saying, when they hear the mom calling you mama, they start calling you mama. So a lot of grandmothers are called mama because that's what they've been hearing. So when they come over, they run to grandma, even though they're saying mama. Sometimes there was one lady, I'm trying to think of this, what her her husband her husband called her baby doll. So whenever the baby was around, he was a little boy. He would hear baby doll, so he calls her baby. So and they just left it at that. When they noticed it, they was like, he calling you baby. When they noticed it, then everybody else started saying it around them. So they just
Right.
let it stay. So her grandma name is baby. They didn't change it and say,
Okay.
okay, so they didn't change it. So that's the way sometimes whatever sound comes out of the baby's mouth, because some of the letters they can't say, like
Sure.
like the gamma. So it was gamma, you know what I mean? So it's whatever sound comes out.
Downsizing doesn't have to feel like a loss. It can feel like freedom. I'm Robin McCoy, and every month I host a free webinar called The Gentle Transition, Downsizing with Peace, Purpose, and Dignity. Whether you're planning your own move or helping a parent through one, this webinar walks you through the process in a way that's calm, human, and full of hope. Registration is free. Just click the link in the show notes, and I'll see you there.
I just had a grandmother tell me recently that she used always called her granddaughter Stinky Butt. And so now when she comes in, she'll come running to her saying, Inky Butt, Inky Butt, Inky Butt.
Yeah, so you do.
And she said,
So a
Joy.
word of caution: be careful what you
That's
say.
what she said. She said, Joy, I'm going to let it go for a minute, but I'm not going to be Inky Butt. And I said, okay. So sometimes you actually change it depending on what comes out. They're so cute and they're so adorable and they're coming to you. This
Yeah.
is a special thing. That's your name. That's your name. That's going to be your name for the rest of your life. And when you're gone, that's still going to be your name forever and ever and ever. You know what I mean? It's just so important to realize that name and the calling of that name associated with you is such a big deal in a grandbaby's life until they're born. And you don't realize the touch, the feeling that you're putting on these children. You're just being there and being grandma or being grandma or being nana is so important to them. From that moment that they recognize you and can call you that, that's the love that you and that baby together feel. Nobody has that feeling between you. Nobody has it. You share that with your grandbaby shares that with you, and it's an experience that is beyond words. And you'll feel it. I promise you, Robin, you are going to feel it. And it'll be there forever. And you can always bring it back. I mean, I have 7 grandkids, but I have one little one that was my heart. She just hung on to me when she was a little one. But this is one memory that just came back in my head. So I was in the bathroom one morning, and I don't remember. I must have looked sad because she was like 2. And she came in there and looked at me and said, everything's going to be all right, Granny, Granny. I'm Granny. She said,
Okay.
everything's going to be all right, Granny. I mean, then the tears started rolling because I was like, oh, my darling, because I was sick. I was like, oh, she said everything's going to be all right. To this day, she's 21 now. To this day, when I look at her, that's what I hear. Everything's going to be all right,
That's
Granny. I just turned 77. I mean, that's what I started hearing, and she just turned 21. And that, when I just look at her, but even when I don't look at her, when I feel bad, when I think of, I feel horrible, or this didn't go right, I hear her little tiny voice saying, everything's going to be all right, Granny. And
Granny. I love it.
The calm just comes. It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that's, and again, I'm talking on the other side of the fence right now because I haven't gone through the grandparent gate just yet.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
And I look at it like, and I only I had relationships with my grandparents, but they lived, like on my mom's side, they lived a long way away, so we didn't see them all the time.
Mine too.
And my dad's side, they lived near us, but we moved away when I was young, so I didn't my whole life I didn't grow up with them down the street or,
Correct.
at
Correct.
Sunday
Yeah.
dinner and all those sorts of things.
That was the way mine was.
Um,
Actually, my mom was in Kansas, my dad was in Mississippi, and Christmas we went to Kansas, and summer we went to Mississippi. So it was just
yeah,
only at those holiday times that I have relationships with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, but my mom's mother died when she was very young, so I never had a grandmother on that side. But I had a grandfather and a great grandfather.
Nice.
And some of those stories, and I think that's one of the things that is missing today, is telling the stories of our grandparents or our lives, and because so I'm 63, you're 77. My mother turned 90 yesterday.
Oh, how amazing.
So we're looking at these decades of stories and how life was.
Yes.
And I think those stories are being missed. And being able to have a relationship with your grandchildren, I just think it's the stories in my head. I'm a storyteller. And my mother will always say about her grandfather, my great-grandfather,
right,
who lived rural Arkansas, living on the land he homesteaded, all of this. And she would always say, Grandpa always had a melon under the bed to cool.
Wow.
You're from the South, right? You know how hot it gets. You know how hot it got in 1939 when there wasn't any air conditioning in the South. And Grandpa always had a melon under the bed to cool. That was the coolest place in the house.
Oh, wow.
So it's those phrases.
Things, but you're absolutely right. Those stories that come from Grandma and Grandpa.
Grandma and Grandpa and great-grandma and great-grandpa. And I think we need to, so I say to you, these stories that you're telling today, you're going on podcasts, your grandkids and great-grandkids are going to cherish these stories.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And as an adult now, like I said, we didn't see each other except during the holidays. But I remember the difference. Like my mom's parents were from Kansas. They lived in a big house on the corner, and they had a grapevine and gardens and stuff. My grandparents in Mississippi, they lived in a farm on the corner too, and they had cows and chickens running around, and I was like, so that was two different exposures, and I was I remember having dinner at Kansas. We had dinner at the table with all the little napkins and sitting properly, and you ate everything with your knife and fork and spoon. And then when we went to Mississippi, you just sat at this long table and you ate everything with your fingers. I mean, there wasn't even such a thing. I mean, we might have got a fork, but we definitely didn't have no napkin that you put in your lap.
Cloth napkins and tablecloths and all of that. And that was the same for me. My grandmother on my dad's side, grandparents lived in an apartment here in Dallas. They were very urban country club kind of thing. Yeah. And then you go to Star City in Dumas, Arkansas, and it's a little two-room house with a pump to get the water out in an outhouse. And they lined you up on the porch and gave you watermelon.
The outhouse? I know. I remember. Yes. I remember when I was little, the first time we went, I was probably 3 or 4, the outhouse was outside.
Yes,
we had to, at night when you got scared, there was a pot by your bed. It was called a pee pot. Oh yeah, if you wanted to go to the bathroom, you had to pee in the pot.
That exact. See, these are
and then the next year we came back and there was a bathroom in the back of the house. They had added a bathroom.
But see, these are the stories that, like, my niece and nephew have no real concept of.
Right.
Right? And even for me, I mean, I was 10 or 12. We'd go see great-grandpa. And I remember the porch swing and sitting on the porch and eating watermelon.
Yeah,
and, that kind of stuff. And we just don't have so much of that anymore. At least in my family, we live in the city. We live in Dallas. Right. Everybody's, all the kids live in Austin, Texas, and
Right,
Cleveland,
right.
Ohio, and all these places. And so our families aren't out on the farm anymore, or aren't out there. In my case, I know that there are still, don't come at me. I know there's people that still live out in rural areas,
Yeah,
and you probably
yeah.
still have that.
But now
But
we know
everybody's
about
still,
it. This is how
yeah,
we expose our own grandchildren to the fun of it. Because
yes,
we're no longer having to be in the era in the part of their lives where we're the parent and we're teaching and we're trying to get them ready for the world. We've done that with our child. Now our child has had a child. So our child's going to take care of that teaching and giving them the exposure of the world. We don't have to do that anymore. We can do the fun things now, and things that we think they would still get knowledge, but we can do it in a fun way. I mean, now they have
yeah,
places that you can go pick strawberries, so you don't have to
yeah,
live on the farm. You can take your grandkids and go strawberry picking. You know
yeah,
what I mean? So there's things that, but you parents generally didn't do a lot of that if it wasn't a necessity of a part of growing up.
right,
So we do this
right.
stuff that's no longer a necessity because our kids are going to do that. That's their kid. Your kid. That means you did good when you raised yours. You're satisfied, so you do it like I'll have fun with yours. Now you do the mommy, and then I'll do the grandma.
I
That's why
do the
so much
grandma.
stuff is different. When you were little, you couldn't play in the living room, you couldn't eat in the living room, but now your grandkids come over and you give them juice in the living room, and you give them a cupcake in the living room, and your kids say, "But mom, we could never do that." But I'm the grandma now, and this is grandma's house. Y'all do that at
Yeah.
your house. You know, that's a really. I have a picture that somebody sent me on my Facebook one time, when the grandmother, when the mother was younger. Um, of course, the living room was a place where you didn't play and you didn't eat.
Right.
So the mother, when she came to her mama's house, like for the birthday of the grandchild, the mama had bought a bouncy house and put it in the living room.
You're like,
So the
wait a
kids
minute.
were in a
That's a room
bouncy house.
nobody gets to go in,
I
you
know
know?
they were in a bouncy house, jumping up and down in the living room, and the face on she took a picture. The face on her was like, "What in the world?"
That's like one of those Facebook memes now that goes around, right? That it's like,
Oh, definitely,
you
definitely.
know?
Yeah. Like, mom, what are you doing? And you want to tell the children, "Oh, no, 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 don't do that." And then your mom says, "No, they're okay. They're okay. They're at their own house."
Well, let me ask you, with all your experience with your, I mean, how many people did you say you have on your Facebook page that are all grandparents? Like
Yeah, like
thousands.
35,000. I'm sure there's more,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
35,000
So like
subscribed.
35,000, what kind of conversations around grandparenting happen on that Facebook page?
Well, on that page, it's mostly me. It's my world is what my grandkids call me. So
Okay.
I am actually seeking to find out
Yeah.
what is your grandma name, what is your grandpa name, and how did you get it. Usually, there's a wonderful story about how you got
Yeah.
that name. So on the page, you'll find hundreds and hundreds and over different kinds of calligraphy and writing, but different names, different every time. There's
I love it.
just a whole lot of different names when you go on there.
So
I also put
it's
on there
funny.
some advice every once in a while,
Yeah.
or something that you could think of to use. But everything is very, 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 very positive. Very
Of course.
something that'll make you smile, because that's the thing. I know that if I say the right thing or I show you the right thing, it's may make you think a minute, but it's definitely going to make you smile.
We Are One Heart is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to bridging the gap between the needs and resources of low-income seniors and veterans. Rooted in compassion and love, our mission is to provide housing, living assistance, and access to critical resources that ensure dignity and support for the elderly in underserved communities. At the heart of We Are One Heart's work is the belief that every individual shares a common humanity, a heart connected through love and care. We are committed to creating a future that honors those who have shaped the past by offering programs and services that enhance their quality of life. For more information or to donate, visit WA 1h.org. That's WA, the number 1h.org. So my cousin, when their first grandchild was coming along, her husband said, "Well, I'm going to be Big Daddy."
Ah.
And Rachel, my cousin, said, "Well, I can assure you, I am not going to be Big Mama."
Oh, I love it. Yes,
You
I
can be
love
Big
it.
Daddy all day. I'm not going to be Big Mama. So she's Honey. She just is called Honey, and
And that
what
is
she loves.
great. That is great.
Yep.
You see,
Yeah.
that comes about, and no matter what, you see the little bit of joy that brings, even if it's just for a minute, since there's so much
Yeah.
negativity going on, that just little bit of joy. I thought of something in this country when I was thinking of what can make people, smile, and I came up with, what my grandkids call me. Um, Picture if you were in a gym or a big stadium, and on one side, I picture it in my head as a gym. With on one side of these are the adults, but the adults are from all nationalities, all religions, all politics. I mean, some people hate each other, but they're all over there and they don't know what in the world I'm over here next to you for. That's the way our people do. That's the way,
Yeah.
people do. Like, what are we all over here and we don't have nothing in common, nothing. And then
Right.
the door opens across from them, and all these beautiful little 2 and 3 and 4 year olds come out hollering, "Boo boo, shuka shuka, mama, mama!" And they all light up, and they find their grandma or their grandpa, and they all are smiling, calling them whatever name, and scooping them and hugging them. Robin, do you think there's a place in there, a child or a person that is not smiling? No.
No. And all of a sudden, you're
Smiling.
standing next to this person. You've got your grandbaby. You're standing next to the person who 2 minutes
Has their
before
grandbaby.
you're giving them
Yeah,
the
that's
look
right.
because
Now
I don't know
we're all
why,
smiling at each other because we all smile because we all have what? We all have a grandbaby that just called us our grand name. You might be Boo Boo and I might be Shoop Shoop, but we both love you and now we love them and everybody is happy. Everybody is smiling.
I love that. I
Uh,
love that. I mean, because we are in a hard place right now, right? We are in a difficult place in our society and in our
Right.
communities today. And I feel like we are looking to see what's different about us than what is the same about us.
Right.
And it's causing so much
That's
conflict
a
and
good way to put it.
anger and all these things. And if we and who can't get excited about a baby and being the common ground? And if a baby
Absolutely.
can be the common ground that can get us both to go, oh, we do have
Something that
something
we share.
similar, something
That's right.
the
We
same.
all love that grandbaby, and we
Yeah.
love to hear that grandbaby call your name. Because
Yeah.
that grandbaby, when they say sugar, sugar, when they say honey, honey, they're not talking to anybody but
Yeah.
you. And you know it. You are the only honey. I don't care if it's a million honeys to that child. You
You're the
are the
only
only
one.
honey in the world, and you will always be the only honey. And that will always make your heart beat. It'll make you smile inside, even if you don't outside, because it's just the
Yeah.
norm of our feelings. Your insides will feel so differently. That's what I can't wait for you to experience. Your
Well,
insides are
it's
going to start bubbling.
it's funny. Like I told you, I just feel completely ill-equipped for anything baby, right? It's just because
Right.
that just was
That's
not
okay.
in my
You'll
life.
get to it, but this part is just
And
going to
I'll
be
tell
on your
you what.
inside.
I'll tell you what. I was in a department store, wandering about, and all of a sudden I found myself. I'm looking at things for babies, and I'm like, "Oh God!" I
You've
sent a
only
text to
just
my
begun.
husband. I said, "It's happening.
It's
It is happening."
You've only just begun. You've only just begun, and you'll be in the store. I'm gonna tell you. I know one lady that says every time she goes to the store, she gets a teddy bear. That little mom, her mama told her, her daughter told her, "Grandma, she doesn't need any more teddy bears." Or she said, "Girl, she likes teddy bears. So every time I come over here, I'm gonna have a teddy bear in my hand." She's probably got about 100. Her whole little room is all different colored teddy bears. But that's her thing, And you don't ever know what your thing might be. You never know
Yeah.
what might spark between you that makes you say, I'm always going to bring her one of these. Or you'll be in the store and mom will say, and this is on a lot of memes and on Facebook, YouTube things. Mom will say, no, we're not going to get that right now. And grandma will pick it up and put it in the basket. Like,
just go ask grandma.
Yeah.
No, you can't have any cookies. I'm going to go ask grandma.
And yes, and another one I had, one lady said, she said, I went to my mom's house and I said, she had told her mom, I guess before, the baby hadn't had ice cream yet or something. I think it was ice cream. Anyway, the dad or the mother or somebody was getting ice cream out of the cabinet out of the refrigerator, and the little baby was like looking at it like she was getting ready to have some. And her daughter told her, she said, she can't have ice cream yet, Mom. And she said, well, she eats ice cream every time she comes over here. She's 6 months old. She's had ice cream all her life. and the daughter was like, well, I never gave her ice cream.
That's funny. And that's okay because it's grandma's house.
You never know.
That's hilarious. Well, tell everybody where they can find you. Tell them about your website. I think you said something about an app as well. So kind of give us the rundown on everything.
My Facebook is What My Grandkids Call Me. On Amazon, I have a book called What My Grandkids Call Me, A to Z. And like I said, I was a kindergarten teacher. So about 7 names that somebody sent in. This is V is for Vima, Vaga, Vava, Vivi. Okay, so it's different names with different letters of the alphabet. And then I had some grandmas to write in about how their grandbabies make them feel. So I have about 25 grandmas in the back that say, my grandchildren make me feel extremely blessed. I feel exhausted when they're here, but 5 days a week, but I miss them so much when they're gone. My 15 grandkids make me feel complete. They make me learn all the old lullabies. They are perfect. So
we're going to link that book for sure. We're going to link that
that's
book
on Amazon.
Sure, so people can find that.
So that's got a lot of names. And then I'm also doing a photo shoot. It's called What My Grandkids Call Me photo shoot that I did a magazine. And I had ladies, grandmas come to the hotel by the beach, and everybody was dressed in white. And the photographer took a picture. These look so young, but everybody on here is older than 60. And we took pictures by the beach with the photographer. We took pictures, and it's called What My Grandkids Call Me. So under the picture is the grandma name.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And you're going to do another photo shoot?
So I'm getting ready to do another photo shoot in Atlanta at the Ritz-Carlton. On September 11 and 12, it's going to be at the Ritz-Carlton. Oh, this is going to be so fun. But I'm excited about that. And then at the end, this is like with the legacy. The grandmas are coming to celebrate becoming a grandma and the new name that they're going to have for the rest of their life. What they're doing is they're meeting other grandmas and learning other grandma names. They're not coming to hear a speech. They're not coming to hear a song. They're coming to say, hi, what's your grandma name? What are your kids' names? That's their likeness. You see what I'm saying? So that's the part. And then at the end, like a month later, they get this magazine. They can get it. Several of them buy them and give them to their kids or give them to their grandkids because it's something to last and something that they can remember grandma by. And
we'll make sure all of that is all linked up. We've got all send us all that information, so we're going to make sure everybody knows about that.
One more. I have an app that just came out. It's called What My Grandkids Call Me. It's a word search, so there are 3 different games that you can go on. It's on iPhone or Android. So it's a word search because I discovered, myself included, seniors, not necessarily grandparents, like doing word searches. And
they need to. Got to keep the noodle going.
So everywhere I go, I always see at the senior citizens' homes, There's always somebody in a corner or at a table doing a word search. So that's what my word search. That's what my app
keep
is.
your noggin sharp. Gotta
Yes,
keep your
ma'am.
noggin
Yes,
sharp.
ma'am. And it's something fun because being a grandparent is happiness. You know what I mean? It's not a serious thing. It's a happy thing.
Awesome. Well, I am looking forward to it. More so than when I first heard. I was real scared. And now I'm not as scared. I'm not as scared.
You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it. You're just going to enjoy being. That's the big part.
Yeah.
Being. You're a parent to your daughter. But, I mean, and that was a wonderful feeling. You're a wife to your husband. That was a wonderful feeling. You're a child to your mom. But there's nothing ever in the whole wide world that matches being a grandmother. But then to hear that little tiny voice call your grandma name. What do your grandkids call you? That's what's going to make your heart smile for the rest of your life.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Thank you for making my Thursday very happy. And you made me smile today. That's for sure.
I'm so happy. I'm glad to do that.
And thank you, folks, for tuning in to another episode of Relax, I Got This, Embracing Life After 60. Start thinking about your grandma name. Start thinking about all those things. And remember, make somebody smile today. Let's just make somebody smile today.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on Relax, I Got This, Embracing Life After 60. I know that time is our greatest asset, and I appreciate the time that you spend with me. If you're finding the information on this podcast useful, please subscribe to the channel on your favorite platform so that you never miss another episode. Don't forget to go to our website where you will find additional resources, downloads, and coaching programs. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on Relax, I Got This, Embracing Life After 60.